welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and I post 2 videos a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 AM. So if you love a recipe video like this one and you want to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to share with you how to make my delicious bacon and cheese quiche. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious gluten-free cheese and bacon quiche. Now this recipe is really easy to do, but I have to be honest, it is slightly time consuming. It does take a little while to make the pastry. The filling is really easy, but the pastry does take some time to make. But the efforts are worth the results. This one is a delicious one, and I thought that this would be nice during the Christmas to New Year period. Perhaps you could serve this at a party if you're having a party this year, or maybe you could have it as a dinner. It's delicious with beans, it's delicious with salad, it's brilliant in the summer and in the winter, so it's a really versatile dish. We're going to be having it for our dinner this evening, and of course while I was making it I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make my delicious gluten-free cheese and bacon quiche. To make my pastry, I'm going to be blending 3 flours together. So I'm going to be making the main bulk of the pastry with some quinoa, but I've got 2 other flours that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using rice flour as well. And I'm going to be using something called sorghum flour. Sorghum flour is an Indian flour, and that's about all I know about it. They use this a lot in Indian cooking. And I sort of found this recipe online and I adapted it a little bit and I added some quinoa to it, and the results were amazing. Sorghum I bought on Amazon, and I will put a link in the description box below for you if you want to go check it out. It does make a really nice pastry. I think they use it a lot in biscuits as well in Indian cooking, and maybe breads as well, I'm not sure. But yes, we really like the flavour and the taste of this pastry that I made. So I'm making it again today with sorghum flour. I would use gluten-free flour, but I don't like the way it's processed when they take the gluten out of it. So I don't really eat gluten-free flour if I don't have to. So I'm always trying to find alternatives to that sort of flour. So yes, I found this and I thought this was a really good recipe, and I've adapted it, and I really like this recipe. So yeah, if you want to go check out sorghum flour, please do. So what I said I would do at the beginning of this, before I started talking too much, is I said I would blend all of these flours together. So I'm just going to put the sorghum flour in, the brown rice flour, and the quinoa in as well. And then I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder as well. It's 1, 2, 3, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my lid on and I'm going to press blend, and while I'm blending I'm going to move the contents of the blender around, because otherwise it all gets, like, the bottom just gets blended and the top doesn't. Obviously this isn't liquid, it's a solid, so it needs moving around, and this came with my blender as well. So if you have one of these with your blender, then I would suggest using it. And then, so I'm just going to start blending now, and this is what I'm going to do. Blended those ingredients until they resemble a flour. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty the contents into a mixing bowl, and then I'm going to start making my pastry in a moment. So I'm going to go and get my ingredients for my pastry now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub my butter and my flour together. So I have about 125 grams of a vegan block here, so that's vegan butter. You can use ghee or you can use unsalted butter as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add that in, and I'm just going to rub the butter and the flour together until it starts to resemble breadcrumbs basically. And this does take a little while, But this is a nice job to do, I thought, while you're listening to some music maybe, or listening to the radio, or if you're that sort of person, you could also have the television on as well. So yes, I'm just going to continue to rub the butter and the flour together until it resembles breadcrumbs. Now, I rubbed the butter and the flour together until they resemble breadcrumbs, so it looks like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a well in the middle of the mixture, and then I'm going to crack 2 eggs into a bowl, and I'm going to whisk these together. That's if I don't get any shell in it. I'm just going to try and get that shell out. Don't like shell, do we? Come on! It's just when you don't want shell in it. There we go. Done. Yes, so as I said, I'm going to crack 2 eggs into a bowl like so, and then I'm going to whisk those together until you make obviously scrambled egg like that, and then I'm going to pop these into my bowl, and I'm going to mix these ingredients together until I form a dough ball. But I'm also going to add to this a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar as well. Now, I don't really know what the apple cider vinegar does, to be honest. We're not baking a cake, so it's not rising, but I think it just adds that little bit of extra flavour. And apple cider vinegar is very good for you as well, so yes, I'm not worried about that. So yes, I'm just going to continue mixing these now. I may need some water in this as well to make it stick together a bit better. But I'm going to try and mix this until it forms a dough ball. Now, I've got myself a little bit of water here, and I'm just trying to make a dough ball out of this, but it's not quite working, so I'm just going to add a tablespoon or 2 of water and see if that helps to stick it together. And you just do that until, just do this until the pastry sticks together. I'm just going to get my hand in. I think I need a couple more tablespoons of water. If you make it too soggy, then you can always use a bit more rice flour, and that will make it less soggy. So yes, I'm just going to do this and see what happens. Yep, that's gluing together perfectly now. I've formed a dough ball with my pastry, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out, and I've greased a tin, so a quiche tin. You can use a cake tin if you want to. You can use any type of tin you like. As long as it's got a loose bottom on it so you can lift it out, then it's perfect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dust some rice flour onto my board, and I'm going to roll out my pastry until it's the thickness that we like. So we like it probably about 1 centimetre thick. So I'm just going to roll it out to the centimetre thick. And I forgot to mention earlier, I used vegan butter, and vegan butter does actually have salt already in it. The vegan butter that we buy has Himalayan pink salt. So I didn't add any salt to the pastry, but if you are using unsalted butter or you're using ghee and you want to add salt, then please do. It does make the pastry that little bit tastier, I do find. So now I'm just going to check that that's going to fit, and I'm going to try. This pastry is very crumbly, but don't worry too much because you can stick it back together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to put it in like that, and I'm just going to mould it around the outside. So I'm just going to try and mould the pastry now around the outside. It has gone a bit funny over this side, but that's fine. As I said, you can just mould this pastry. It is a bit like Play-Doh. It's not like ordinary pastry, I have to say, so it's very easy to mould into the tin. basically. So yes, I'm just going to try and even that bit out a little bit there. And then I'm going to put this into my fridge in a moment for about half an hour. And while this is in the fridge, I shall be making my, I was going to say insides then. I'm going to be making the filling for the quiche. So yes, that's perfect now. And as I said, I'm going to put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees. My oven is preheating, so what I've done is I have cracked 3 eggs and I've put them into a mixing bowl. In the original recipe, I think I said to use 4, but my eggs were really large today, so I decided to put them into my mixing bowl like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients to the eggs. So here I have chopped about 4 spring onions, or salad onions if that's what you call them, into like 1/2 centimetre pieces, I'd say. So I'm just going to add those into my bowl. So I topped and tailed the spring onions and then I just chopped them into 1/2 centimetre pieces. And now I'm going to add 1 yellow pepper. So I chopped the top off and I removed the core and the stalk, and then I just sliced and diced the flesh. So I'm just going to add that in as well. And then I also peeled and grated 1 carrot as well, so I'm going to add that in. And then I have my bacon here, and I've got about 4 rashers of bacon that I've just simply sliced, and I'm going to put that in. And then for my cheese part, I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is a plant-based food that tastes like cheese. It doesn't melt like cheese, it's more like a powder, but it does give a very cheesy flavour, especially to things like omelette. And I use this because I have a slight dairy intolerance as well as a gluten intolerance, so I use this instead of normal cheese. But you can use 100 grams of mature cheddar if you want to, or any kind of cheese that you like. And that will be in the recipe below that I'll put in when I put this video up. So yes, I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast to this as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix these ingredients together like so, until everything is well mixed together. And I'm going to also add some salt and pepper to this as well. So I'm just going to go and get my salt and pepper. So I've grabbed my salt and my pepper, so I'm just going to add a pinch of salt, maybe a bit more I'd say, and then a little bit of pepper as well. And this is just to bring out the flavour of all the ingredients and to add a bit of extra flavour as well. So again, I'm going to mix these ingredients together, and I think my base for the quiche will be ready now, so I'm going to go and get that out of the fridge. So I've got my base from the fridge and the pastry is lovely and cold now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my filling to the base of the pastry base, and I'm going to put this into the oven now for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until it's gone a lovely golden brown colour. So yes, I'm off to put this in the oven now. As you can see, my quiche has gone a lovely golden brown colour, so I'm going to take this out of the oven and I'm going to leave it to cool. As you can see, the quiche has cooled, and I've removed the quiche from the tin that I put it in to bake, and now I'm just going to cut down the middle and I'm just going to share with you the inside. The pastry is lovely and flaky as well, so it should be a really nice quiche. So I just want to pick that up and show you the quiche. There you go, looking delicious. and I can't wait for that with my dinner. As I said, we're going to be having this with some beans this evening, but this is really nice with some salad as well, and some potatoes if you wanted potatoes with it too. So yes, I'm really looking forward to my dinner now. That's how you make my delicious bacon and cheese quiche, and the recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be having this for my dinner, and I'm really looking forward to it. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.